I feel social skills is one of those things that is often overlooked in self-improvement. There's such a great emphasis on no fap, deep work, journaling, meditation, cold showers, waking up early, going to the gym, working out consistently. That's all great, right? That's all great. But as humans, we are built on social interactions. That's how we are built. That's how tribes are built. That's how communities are built, right? Fundamentally, that is a core focus in our life. And I really don't think that it gets the attention that it deserves. Leveling up your social skills should be one of your main priorities, in my opinion. 100%. It is for me, at least. I don't know about you, but I've made sure to give it a lot of focus in my life. Deliberate practice, deliberate intention to level up. And you can see the current level that I'm at now. Half of my main channel is built on interviewing random people. That isn't something that I started good at. That took time. I didn't really have the confidence to go do that initially, right? To just go up to a random group of people and pitch an interview and be like, and then actually interview them, right? That takes a certain level of balls to do that, right? And I didn't start with that. That wasn't something that I was always good at. No, I was quite the opposite, right? I'll tell you where I started from. Primary school, I went to an all-boys school, right? I had like 2 or 3 friends, but I basically never spoke to girls, right? 11 to 16 years old, I went to a mixed school, but boys and girls were taught separately. So I didn't actually, and then like during break and during lunchtime, you could go speak to them, but I was too much of a pussy to do that. I was too busy watching videos on my phone, like with my friends at the time, and I didn't really develop that side of me. I was just playing PS4 all day, really. All I could talk about were the games that I played, which were Destiny, Rocket League, and Overwatch. Those were like the 3 games that I banged out. Destiny the most. That's all I spoke to people about. That side of me, that social side of me, was very, very underdeveloped. I didn't really play any sports, so I had no sense of community in real life, right? I did, like, on my video games, but it's not the same thing, right? It's not a face-to-face interaction, right? So I didn't have that developed at all. And now I'm at a point where interviewing a group of strangers, I'm pretty much comfortable with. Obviously, I still get a little bit nervous occasionally, but it's never to the point where I won't do it. I'll always do it, right? If I see them, I'll go do it. That is something you can learn. 100%. No doubt. You can learn that. It's not something that you're born with, right? Some people probably start better than others, but at the end of the day, just like anything else, it can be learned. It's a skill. It's a skill. Hard work, deliberate practice, you're going to master it. Or you're going to get very good at it, right? Now, what do you actually do? Okay. Let me ask you a question. When you go to the gym, what do you do to improve? How do you get better in the gym? In working out in general? Well, it's obvious, right? Progressive overload. You make the resistance harder each week, every fortnight, every month. You increase the difficulty. Why would this be any different? Why would the approach be any different at all? It's the exact same thing. There is no reason to change that logic. I was actually journaling and I thought, bro, I could apply this to so many aspects in my life, whether it be progressively overloading my social skills, meditation, my tolerance in editing my videos. Like, you can apply it to so much. And it's quite easy once you recognize that. Then you kind of know exactly what you have to do. Going from a 60 kilo bench to a 100 kilo bench is going to be quite hard. If your 1 rep max is 60 and then you try to do 100, you're going to get wrecked. It's the same thing here. If you go from barely speaking to anybody to trying to cold approach girls and get their number or something, you're probably going to give yourself a heart attack, right? I mean, you can try, but I would say a more moderate approach, and what I did is build yourself up to it. Build yourself up to it. There's no reason to rush. Oh, man, my nose is itching so much. What the hell? just like anything else. You take your time with it. Don't rush it, okay? What you have to understand is where you currently are right now, okay? Now, if you have had zero experience talking to strangers, what I suggest, and this is what I did, is if you see somebody walking, right? So you're walking this way, they're walking that way, right? As you walk past, if you're a guy, right, you know guys do this all the time, right? It's like a little subconscious thing. Like you'll see someone you know, maybe you don't, right? You'll look at them and you go like, right? Guys do that all the time, right? I don't know about girls, but guys do that all the time. Literally, that's how I started. Non-verbal communication, that's still part of social skills, right? Literally start with that. That is literally how I started, right? Very simple, very easy to do, right? Doesn't take a lot, okay? Just look them in the eye, go like that, job done, walk away. There you go. That's going to start leveling it up. You may think that it's so small, there's no point, but that's not the attitude, right? Take baby steps. And when that becomes easy, you move on to something that's a bit harder. So, once that becomes easy, the next thing which I started doing was literally just saying hello. Or just saying, you're right, right? People, I'm from the UK, right, if you didn't know. People do that all the time. You're right, mate. Literally. I'll say that. I walk off. That's it. It's not a big deal. Right? Wherever you're from, like, just say a common greeting. And just walk away. Like, friendly-ish smile. Don't like, creep them out. Like, don't do that. Right? But you don't need to overcomplicate it. I feel like people overcomplicate this shit so much. Just like everything else, you progressively overload it. And you have to constantly keep stretching yourself, constantly be pushing yourself out of your comfort zone right now. Wherever you are in that ladder of difficulty. Once a little greeting becomes easily, then you want to actually start holding proper conversations. So, let's say you're just on a walk, right? You see somebody, maybe they're walking the dog. You say something like, that's a nice dog you got there. Something as simple as that, right? All you need is a conversation starter. All you need to think about are the first couple words. After that, just let it flow. Whatever comes to mind is what you should say. Whatever comes to mind is what you should say. Because that's your genuine self. You don't want to be doing this with a mask on, right? I know it's hard because everyone has like a barrier up, right? When you speak to somebody you don't know, you've got like a front on. That's not like the true self. You probably have certain things you want to say, but you don't. So you don't come off across as a certain way, but that's your true character. I say you should just go for it. You should just go for it. That's your true character. Say what comes to mind. Obviously don't be offensive, right? But again, just progressively overload it, right? We've gone from a little nod to slight greeting to... You start with a very genuine compliment. If you actually like their dog, they're walking the dog, be like, that's a nice dog. What breed is it if you don't know? Like, I'm just giving like a random example, right? You can apply this to anything, okay? And then you could have a very low-key conversation, like, about the weather or like where they're from, what area they're from. Because if they're walking, they're probably if you're walking near where you live, they're probably living in a similar area to you as well. And have a little chat about that, you know? Like, it's nothing crazy, okay? You start small. But you now may be asking me, how do I even do that? Because I know that some people will still have the nerves to not... They'll have so many nerves that they can't even do that, right? Each time you progress, okay? Each time you progress in the gym, okay? Let's say your bench is 60 kg, okay? And currently you can do 60 kg for maybe like 5-6 reps. You want to PR on 70 kg. Have you ever done 70 kg before? No, you have not. You can try 65 before, but have you tried 70? No. You have to make the jump from 60 to 70 or 65 to 70. There's always going to be a slight jump. There's always going to be a little bit of a jump between each level. It's not just going to be like on a hill, right? It's not going to be on a hill just going like that. It's going to be like a staircase. That's what it's going to be like. You're going to have to do a little hop each time, okay? How do you do that? Literally, you have to just psych yourself up and just do it. You have to hype yourself up if you're not feeling it, and you just got to do it, right? That is honestly how you do it. There's no secret technique. You have to just be like, fuck it, I'm just going to go and ask. I'm just going to do it. That is honestly the attitude that I have, and it has worked so well. Even if I go up to like, alright, so I'll tell you this, right? So, in 2021, I set myself the goal to cold approach 30 girls on the street, right? You may think that's weird, right? Great, I don't really care. Okay, the reason for that was not so I can go sleep with 30 girls. That was never the intention. The intention was to make cold approaching a girl easy. I wanted it to not be a mental strain. I didn't really want to think about it. I could just do it. I see a girl I think is attractive, I just go and I just talk, right? Don't need to bang them, right? You don't need to do stuff if you don't want to, right? But that's still a skill you can cultivate, right? That's something you can get better at. And I achieved that goal. I did achieve that goal. Literally, I have a counter on my... Wait, where's my phone? Right, give me one sec, right? I literally have a counter on my phone, right? I literally have a counter on my old phone, right? That says how many I literally approach. I'm not making this up. Are you... I mean, you may think I'm crazy. Yeah, literally, look. Is that going to focus? I literally had a counter. Literally had a counter. I ain't making this up. 30 girls. And I would literally, every time I do it, I would just click it. Like that. Literally what I did, right? Honestly, treat it as a bit of a game. When I started to treat it as a game, it actually got quite fun. You start to actually enjoy it, yeah? You start to actually enjoy doing it and getting better at it, because it's something that so many people are not good at. It's not an easy skill to level up. It is a harder one. It does require deliberate practice. So once a little nod like that is easy, once a simple, very simple conversation, right? You go up, talk about the environment you're in, the surroundings. If it's nice weather, you can just say, weather's nice today, right? I know it's not the most exciting advice you want to hear in the world, but there's no magic trick to this shit. It just takes time and deliberate practice. You basically have to tell yourself, I'm not going to be a pussy right now, and I'm going to go talk to them, right? I'm sure, right, when you've been out and about, you have seen somebody, maybe you've seen another guy, and he's got a really interesting hoodie on. He's got you're like, oh shit, that looks sick, that looks really cool, right? And you want to know where he got it from. Go ask. Go ask. That's your true character in your head. Your true character wants to go ask him where he got his hoodie from. So go do it. Stop suppressing it. Because the other voice that tells you, oh, what if he thinks I'm a weirdo, right? That voice often is way too irrational. Even if that guy would call you a weirdo, who really cares? You're going to forget about it. I approached 30 girls last year in 2021, right? I approached 30 girls when I was out in public, and I tried to talk to them, maybe get their Instagram, and every time I did that, right, I didn't always get a yes. I think I probably got 9 out of 30 when I asked to their Instagram. I got 9 out of 30. Bro, I didn't even get 50%. I got the majority no's. I think the first girl I asked said yeah, and then I got 3 no's in a row. Did that stop me? No, it shouldn't stop you. Really, it shouldn't. Because getting rejected is part of this whole process, okay? Now, if you're a guy, I would recommend doing that. I would set yourself the goal, right? Whatever day it is, right? Let's say it's I don't know. Let's say it's the beginning or the end of the month, right? Literally aim to just do one this month. I mean, you could go out today. You could go out today and practice it. There's really no excuse, right? If it's late at night, fine, you could do it tomorrow morning. There's no excuse, is there? Is there really an excuse to this? There isn't. You're probably just being a pussy, right? And I still am sometimes in this. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, every time I have ultimate confidence and I can approach anybody. No, I don't, right? I still pussy out all the time. I don't approach every single person. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you have to do that. It's just you have to just approach more than you don't approach, okay? You have to just build up your tolerance. Let's say you only approach 1 out of 10. Or let's say you approach 1 out of 100, okay? Make it 1 out of 50, then 1 out of 20, then 1 out of 10, then 1 out of 5. Then 1 out of 4. Keep leveling it up. Don't rush it. It's like when people do nofap, right? And they lose their streak, they think it's the end of the world. Bro, if you don't approach 1, it's fine, okay? Just make sure you keep trying. Don't give up on this, because I think this is honestly one of the most important things that you can develop. And if you get better at this, you're going to get, like, imagine you get better at cold approaching random people, right? I've cold approached guys because I was like, yo, where'd you get that jumper from? Where'd you get that hoodie from? Like, I really like it. And that's not me chatting shit. I actually like their hoodie. Like, I actually like their clothes. You want to be genuine about it. You want to be genuine. You don't want to, like, if I don't like their hoodie, I'm not going to say I like it, okay? I'm not gonna say shit that I don't actually believe, okay? If it's actually something I do find appealing, like the design, right? Be genuine about it. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read that book, right? That book is amazing, but so many people read it and are still pussies. Do you know why? Because they don't take any action on it. I know that sounds like some fucking kindergarten advice. Oh, you have to actually take action on what you do. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, right? You do. So why don't you? That's what you have to actually do. You have to make the effort. Like, I would literally go out for the sole purpose of approaching somebody just to develop that tolerance, okay? Instead of going on Discord and going in a voice chat or whatever bullshit you do, right? Go out and make the effort. And when you progress, this is the best feeling, right? When you progress in this, right? Every time I approach, let's say every time like I approach a girl, right? And she says no. I still feel so good about myself. I literally feel high. I feel like I just took something, right? I've had laughing gas once for medical reasons. It literally feels like that nearly every time. You don't believe me? Go try it. Trust me. It is literally a drug. It feels euphoric. It honestly feels euphoric when you level this skill up. You feel so good about yourself. It really does boost your self-esteem. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of people who are just like, they don't want to talk to you. Or they just like, who the fuck is this guy? Right? Well, that's part of it, man. If this was an easy skill to level up, everybody would be amazing speakers, but they're not. I mean, most people can't even talk to the camera with this level of competence, right? And I'm not here trying to stroke my ego, right? I'm telling you what I've worked on, and this is the result. It was not an accident. This was not an accident, okay? And you can do the exact same thing. What's the number one takeaway from this video, right? Progressively overload your social skills. So whatever level you are at now, okay, when you are out in public and you have the impulse to say, when you have that thought in your mind that says, I should go talk to this person, bro, you have to take it. You have to go do it. That is essentially it. If you listen to that voice and you just do it, you're going to level this up very, very quickly. But don't beat yourself up if you don't approach every time. Because I still don't approach every single time. I still pussy out. Not all the time, of course. But occasionally I will. And that kind of hurts. You know, that kind of hurts. Because afterwards you have the regret. The regret of not approaching. It does kind of sting. And if you never approach, you're always going to have the regret. That's always going to sit on your mind. That's going to eat into your soul, bro. That's going to fucking eat into you. That's not a nice feeling at all. I hate it. One of my first ever videos on the main channel was about regret. And that was in the context of me not doing the hard work now, right? It's the same thing here. If you don't start leveling it up today, you're not going to start. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen by accident, okay? So make the effort. Progressively overload your social skills. And understand that each time you do a harder situation, so let's say you go from literally nodding, little greeting, genuine compliment, starting a conversation, okay? Now approaching a group of people, that's definitely a step up from just approaching one person. Like approaching 2 or 3 at the same time. Definitely a lot harder. It's not easy. You have to just kind of be like, alright, I'll just psych myself up and I'll go for it. And I'm still doing this. There's no limit to this. There's no limit to progressively overloading your social skills. I'll tell you where I'm at right now, okay, just so for reference. So, cold approaching a group of people, I can do it. I'm comfortable doing it. Like, if you go look at for example, the guessing degrees video on my main at UCL, right? About halfway through, I approach a group of like 12 people by myself, right? I have my cameraman obviously, but I go talk to them and I pitch them the idea, and I interact with about 7 of them at the same time, right? It is something that you can get better at, and I'm okay with doing that now. Cold approaching a group of girls, I've done that in the past as well. I'm going to give a whole story on that, actually. It's going to be a separate video where I cold approached like 9 or 10 girls at the same time. Bro, that was such a jump for me, but I'm so glad that I took the leap. Some of you may already know that story if you're in like the lecture VC or whatever, but yeah. I'm going to make a separate video about that, because I learned so much that day. I fucking learned so much about myself and about doing this. Currently, the most recent event that I have done to progressively overload my social skills was just leveling up my brute confidence, right? So this is what happened, right? There was a performer in like central London, right? There was about 100, 200 people in a ring around. It was like he was a mime, and he was like doing some stuff. He was doing his miming stuff in the middle, right? And there was quite a large gap. There was a lot of unused space around the ring of people. And I was just like, yo, why don't I just go in the middle? Like, why don't I just like go in the middle and I just like, I don't know, like sit down. And that doesn't sound too hard, but bro, when I was there, I was honestly shitting the bed. I was like, yo, there's like 200 people around, and my friends were like, bro, go do it. They were too much of a pussy. They wouldn't do it, right? And I ended up doing it, but it literally took about 15 minutes of me psyching myself like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then I go, I'm about to go in, and then I'm like, no, I'm back. I turn around, like literally. But I knew for a fact, I knew for an absolute fact that if I didn't do that, I'd be kicking myself all day. I mean, it's kind of like a stupid thing, right? There's no real purpose of it aside from leveling up your social skills. Now, every single level below that, like if you can go do that, there's like a group of like 200 people, and you just sit right in the middle, and everyone's looking at you weirdly, like, who the fuck is this guy? What is he doing? Right? Everyone thinks you're a weirdo. If you can do that and you don't care, obviously I did care, right? That wasn't easy. That was quite hard for me, actually. Like, that took a lot of guts to do that. But if you can level that up, and like you can keep going with that, Like, what would have been harder than that? Okay, if I went in the middle and I did a handstand, right? That would have been fucking next level, okay? That would have been next level. And I can actually hold a handstand. I do kind of things, right? I could have actually done that, right? I was too much of a pussy to do that. I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna stack it. I could not bring myself to do that. That was too far for me, okay? But that's how it is. You level it up every time. So that's where I'm at right now. And I have no intention of slowing down. No intention. I want to really max that skill out as much as I can. Because that's going to help me on camera talking to you guys. That's going to help the flow of my interviews, making them more entertaining, more educational, more funny. Making my content just better. I've got no intention to slow down. If it's something that you want to level up, right? I actually do have a Skillshare course on this exact topic. I'll link it in the description if you want to have a look at it. It's like 25 minutes long. Similar to this, but it's like exact steps. And I go through all the thought processes of like what you have when you're approaching and stuff like that. The title of the course is How to Talk to Anyone with Zero Fear. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you're still here, bro, thank you. Honestly. Like, if you're still watching, right, honestly, I really appreciate it so much. Like, I think this is like my third take of this video because I just kept stacking my words. But yeah, I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.